Hey, Mike Callahan here in Rochester, New York. Walking into another two-day deep dive. And the topic today is how to create a standardized service business that is delegatable and predictable. So what we're doing is we're actually hanging out here. This is a pre-room to coming in to a deep dive 2 days. We're helping another company out to basically standardize their service offering, Service Autopilot, so they can go out and create predictable systems day in and day out that are delegatable. This is kind of what we do. We set up in a boardroom. If this is something you're doing yourself, I would highly recommend getting out of your office, getting a little executive retreat for yourself, by yourself, or if you have a team. But this is what we're doing here. And basically going to post up here the next 2 days, and we're going to go out and create a predictable system. I want to say what's up to Josh. I believe Josh has joined us in this very room here in upstate New York. But Josh and everybody else, what we're talking about is creating a predictable system for estimating and be able to go and standardize your estimating through a production rate based estimating system. And once that's set up, we can go in and create a minimum price with budgeted time, profit, and overhead recovery. And then through an on-site or an office form, we can standardize the estimating process for someone in your office to go out and do these estimates over the phone and close them live, or to go out in the field. And the way this came about was in my own company. I wanted to become an absentee owner. And the gentleman that took the business over and ran the day-to-day operations was a commercial fertilizer tech. He had never estimated lawn mowing, shrub pruning, bed edging, or any of the other things that we do in our service business. But within about a week and a half to 2 weeks, his estimates were identical, within probably 50 cents a pop to my estimates. And I had been doing it 24 to 25 years. So what we really want to do is take what's in the business owner's head, create an executable blueprint that's predictable, test it out, and create production rate based estimating. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this boardroom the next 2 days. Most people come to us thinking they have 15 to 20 services. At the end of the day, when we break it out, there's usually at least 100 to 150 that we build out, because it's a systematic way to create production rate based estimating. We cover each step of the estimate along the way. I don't know if you can really see it on the screen behind me, but what we also do is then once we create this system, we create a standardized workflow through this flow chart, literally from lead acquisition off the website or them calling the office. How do we enter them in our CRM, which is Service Autopilot that we use? How do we go out then and create a templated estimate for leads and clients so we can have separate marketing conversations based on where they're at in the customer life cycle? How do we simplify it to literally hitting a button to add an estimate? The template loads in with all the services particular to whether it's landscape maintenance, maybe it's residential home cleaning, so we'd cover our top to bottom, weekly, bi-weekly deep clean, move in, move out. So whether it's lawn care, home cleaning, we can create this predictable system when we get out of our office and get into a boardroom like this that we're doing in our 2 day deep dive. So we've done this with lawn care companies, we've done this with home cleaning companies, but we're creating a predictable workflow based on a production rate based estimate. So we're going to create a system from lead acquisition off the website or them calling, getting them into the CRM, which is Service Autopilot most of the time. We hit add an estimate, it loads a preloaded template with marketing content pre-built for whether they're a lead or a client. Those are significantly two different conversations. There's sales and price objections and education that are going to need to happen based on where they're at as a customer or not a customer. After that, we're literally just going to go down and hit quote. So whether it's an exact quote or a price range, this can also be done in Service Autopilot. We cracked the code 4 or 5 weeks ago, working with one of the industry leaders in the home cleaning industry, Debbie Sardone, and that has been instrumental. So now we can do pretty much every type of pricing that you can imagine in Service Autopilot. So if you're in the lawn care industry, we can do production rate based estimating for hardscape design and maintenance. If you're in the home cleaning industry, we can go in and do a set price on square footage. We can do a set price on small, medium, and large rooms. We can do a set price on small, medium, and large rooms with a price range, or now we can do a high and low minimum and maximum price based on your top to bottom weekly, bi-weekly deep clean, and monthly or move in, move out cleans. So no matter the industry, this workflow works. It's very, very similar depending on the industry you're in. We've done it with mosquito control. We've done it with asphalt paving and sealing. You name it, we pretty much have done it in this boardroom here over the last 12 to 24 months. But after we create that standardized estimate, we want to be able to save it, hit email, a pre-templated document loads in again with marketing content ready to go. We hit send, the client gets this email. There's a clickable link where they can sign up for the services they're interested in. An automated email fires off back to them. It's pre-templated, letting them know we've got the accepted estimate. And then that notifies our team in the office, basically letting them know they got 24 hours to contact the consumer and get that on the schedule. Next thing we do is we go over how to handle loss estimates. Just basically close those out in a standardized process so we have list hygiene. We can still market to them, but we want a clean database inside that CRM, such as Service Autopilot. If we win the estimate, we go in and convert that lead into a client so we have good hygiene and lead conversion tracking. And we're going to schedule right off the estimate so there's no double entry, there's no pen and paper, and we've got a price, a budgeted time, and a projected profit directly onto that job. We're going to go over the 3 different ways of scheduling predominantly. We're going to do a one-time job. That's when we know the particular time and day that we're going out to do the job. We can do a reoccurring. So whether it's a weekly mowing or weekly or bi-weekly cleaning, we can go into that scenario. Next thing we do is go into a waiting list. Maybe we've got a spring cleanup, or in the home cleaning industry, we've got a move in and move out that needs to be done sometime this week, but not particularly on a set day. We can put that on a waiting list, and we go in and show you how to actually optimize that routing and minimize the drive time to basically minimize that non-billable time. Next thing we do is package job, particularly for the lawn care industry. We go out and do different rounds of fertilizing, how to move them off the estimate and get them onto a master package. Next thing we do is we go into the actual route optimization. Big misunderstanding that route optimization doesn't work and it doesn't optimize the stops. I was going to make a video last night, but I ran out of time getting ready for this deep dive, so it will be coming this week. But basically, when you set those crews up appropriately with the right start time that needs to start at your shop, if you have solo operators such as solo cleaners, they need to be based on where they start. And if they start from your shop and their home address is on their employee record, the route optimization is going to route from their home address, which obviously is not good. Or if you have no address for starting address for those crews, or solo cleaners or solo operators in the lawn care, that's a big reason why it's not working. It has no place to optimize off of. So that's also a big issue. So we go into that. We show you how to set your crews up under the job costing feature in Service Autopilot, under the employee. One of the biggest misconceptions is the number they're looking for is a fully loaded overhead recovery number, as far as with labor burden. So not to totally misspeak, they want your labor burden fully loaded on top of them with your hourly and overtime. Then we're going to go in and go to the dispatch board. How do we schedule those jobs, get them out in the mobiles or print them out, and how do we get the start and stop times and have a quick sanity check to make sure everything we need for the job costing and job reporting is in there in a quick and simple fashion that can be delegated. Closeout day screen is probably the last part of it, where we get the information that we need for automated billing. So whether you're billing weekly, daily, or monthly, those invoices automatically generate. So we go through a process to make sure all the information that should be in there to create those invoices correctly comes at the first time. And then at that trigger point, those invoices are generated. Then we walk through our accounts and billing. So we go in how to charge credit cards, how to email, how to print those invoices, and how to set up contracts. So if you're doing a monthly install for a landscape maintenance or maybe a commercial cleaning, how to enter those in correctly and then associate the jobs underneath them with a price and budgeted time. One of the biggest misconceptions is people are putting contract jobs in there with no price or budgeted time because they're afraid of double billing the client. It will not when it is set up appropriately. But if you don't have those data points, you are running blind as far as your profitability on each job and the whole entire contract. And then the final part is we go in and go through how to handle your daily KPIs, key performance indicators. So we go our daily versus actual time for the whole entire day for each crew, in the whole entire week as a company as a whole. And then twice a year, we go in and show you how to actually run job cost reports on each and every job you do, so non-emotionally you can raise the prices on the jobs you're losing money on. So just to give you an idea of kind of what we do, even if you want to do it yourself, that is the framework. And I would really recommend, if you're doing it yourself, rent a boardroom like this, get out of the chaos of your business, put your cell phones away for 8 to 10 hours a day, and go in and create predictable systems with the team that can be delegated and create a standardized workflow from lead acquisition all the way through billing. And what I like to call them is the 5 to 6 screens to success. I can take someone off the street right now and within 5 to 7 days, teach them how to use the CRM, basically Service Autopilot, for success, and have them with the knowledge base of a production rate based estimating system that took me 23 to 24 years, because we're going to standardize it test it, make it predictable, and basically train to those 4 to 6 screens, usually it's 5 to 6 screens of success, that are replicatable each and every day for standardized production and output of profitable jobs. And then we can go in and test those jobs as far as their profitability twice a year, and we're going to track it daily on each crew and have a sum total each week for each week. And then we're going to show you how to use a public accountability tool to put it on the wall, either whether a TV, dry erase board, chalkboard in your shop or office. So we have team buy-in for production with a quality standard. Only took me about 20 years to figure it out, but now we're able to share the knowledge with you guys, which I wish somebody had showed with me earlier how to do it. But this is what we're doing. So whether you're doing it yourself or you're hopping in a 2-day deep dive like Josh did with us here, the results speak for themselves, whether you do it internally or you hire a professional to help you out. But hopefully this helped, and that's the process we use to standardize a production rate based estimating system that was delegatable. And I wish I had done it sooner, but now that we've done it, we're sharing the knowledge with everybody else.